What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are live. Your brothers been too. It's your boy Swift coming to you from Houston, Texas, and I'm drinking on water tonight because these men that took off and got 30 miles in the Nike Run app already. So I got to catch up. I'm gonna go run tomorrow morning. So this all the
What they got to do with drinking?
Shut up.
Yo, this your boy T. I'm on some red wine tonight. You dig? But just in case it get funky, I gotta finish up that Uncle Nears. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna keep it cool with the wine. So let's roll it.
It's your boy CJB here, Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Edwards, Mississippi. I'm not drinking shit tonight. I gotta get in wedding shape, so I'm gonna let out some of this alcohol a little bit for a couple of months.
So, I am currently still at work, believe it or not. Yes, I am. But I'm so dedicated to y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? So dedicated to y'all. That I came to, you know what I'm saying, show my face, speak my piece and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Showing y'all how to multitask. So everybody can stop saying you ain't got time for this, you ain't got time for that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? All that shit. And y'all see my bang?
Ooh, not the bang gang. Trash.
What it do? This is your boy, IBB King. I'm on the road, y'all. I ain't gonna let y'all know where I'm going. But I'm heading to the back cave. It's at a secret location. And since I'm on the road, I'm not gonna drink no alcohol tonight, but I'm definitely on that body armor.
Okay.
We can barely hear you too close, so try to turn your microphone up if you can.
I put some headphones in there or something, dog.
Some headphones in there.
What's going on, y'all? It's Jay Ward coming to you from Shreveport, Louisiana. It's raining again, so I don't know what it is about every time I try to go live, but hopefully I'm good. Just want to give a shout out to my boy Giannis Antetokounmpo, man. I don't know what he got going on, and I hope
You can't shoot.
I hope he shake back and at least make it a series. But the real King is playing right now. They're up 7-2, so King James got it going already.
All right, so I guess we ain't gonna be on like long because y'all gotta go watch basketball. But let's go and get this thing popped off. And I'm gonna start it with this first topic. My boy Preston put it in the chat, so we're gonna address it. He asked or put a post in the chat that asked, "Why aren't men less as handy as men back in the day? And does that make men less of a man?" So what he mean? I guess what he meant by that is, why aren't men cutting grass or changing tires or doing things around the house? Why don't we see that as much? And does that make men less of a man? Who just Crow came out? We'll probably bring in Rob in a second. So, my brother, do y'all see that? Do y'all see men doing less things, being less handy? And if so, do you think that makes them less of a man?
I can chime in. Oh,
yeah,
go ahead, T.
Jay. Nah, go ahead, Jay Ward.
I mean, I agree with what he's saying, but it's about technology. I feel like technology kills chivalry. I also feel like technology just killed their need to be handy. Like I opened the door for you because, I had to. The door may be heavy and all that, but now I can just unlock my, I can start the car from inside the house. So, I still open the door for you, but, it's not out of a need anymore. I think it's the same reason why not as many women cook, because that's not their sole purpose anymore in life, because it's not 1925. So that's not their sole purpose in life anymore. It's to just tend to the children and cook meals. I'm one of the not handy bros. I'm not like T. I've been watching a lot of T do-it-yourself projects. I cannot do that. That's not my gift. I can cut grass. I do cut grass. I actually wash a lot of dishes and, help with laundry when I can as well, because I feel like, if it's there and I can do it, why not do it? But I don't think that makes you less of a man. I think if you're living in the past, then maybe so. Also, our parents did that type of stuff out of necessity. Men had to hunt because that's how they ate. Men had to farm because that's how they ate. So that's not how I eat. My dad was kind of joking with me one time because I didn't know what a carburetor was or something on a truck. And I'm like, why do I need to know this? I went to school for speech and theater. So what does got to do with me? I can pay somebody to do this. I can pay somebody to, I got a homeboy, whenever I need something put together, he put it together. unless it's just something I just want to take my time and do. But other than that, I am not trying to do all that. I barely can hang curtains. That don't make me no less of a man because I can't do those things because I can pay somebody to do it. Thank you, Jesus.
And I'm gonna go to E Nick because I feel like he don't have vibe.
Bro, like it was his first statement that kind of fucked me up. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, you know, it's because of technology." I'm like, "What the fuck technology got to do with you doing using a power tool, bro?" Like, what? It just didn't make sense to me.
Would you use a screwdriver or would you use a drill? The drill makes it simpler, so you're gonna use a drill. As technology progresses, you're gonna do less and less stuff.
But we're talking
They got
about
automatic. They got automatic lawnmowers now.
Hold on, right? One at a time.
So because you know what I'm saying, you might not have built a few things. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. It don't make you like no. It don't make you like no bitch and nothing like that. It's just like, you know what I'm saying, you just a little green. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Don't take it to the heart. And nothing like that, because same people that know how to.
I see you. I'm gonna get you, CJB. Hold on.
So like, you know what I'm saying? The same people that don't know how to like work on houses, they might know how to work on cars. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the country, but so like that shit is like a must because it ain't as many resources out there. So you got so it don't even start off as being handy. It starts off as niggery. You want this bike or whatever. You gonna get a bike from somebody else that used to ride that motherfucker, and then it's all rusted out. You gonna find a way to clean that bitch up straight. You gonna get them spokes on that joint. You gonna fix that bitch up. You ride now. So that's really what it starts as, and then you just become, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you perfecting your craft at that point. You know what I'm saying? And then you just learn different odd jobs. Me, I work for the town, so like shit, fixing on houses, fixing on cars. I ain't the best at cars, but I can get around that joint. But like the house, I got that on lock now. But like, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna learn to do like all them types of odd jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. CJB, I saw you want to chime in. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna say you're less of a man because you're not handy. I think that's unfair, but I do believe that you're supposed to possess certain life skills such as cooking, changing a tire, changing your oil, checking your oil, doing small stuff like that. I feel like one thing of like country folks are a little different compared to other people. Like one thing about my grandma, she taught me that she never wanted me to rely on a woman to eat. So she taught me how to cook. And I feel like most Negroes really need a woman to cook them a meal. And those are Negroes that just be humping around, chasing a woman, asking her, can she cook all the time? Because he don't know how to cook for his fucking self. But I feel like it's certain things you should know as a man. You should know how to change your tire. I ain't saying you got to be handy and know how to build shit from the ground up and know how to hook up a deck like T is. That's kind of level. That's kind of like above basic levels. But you do need to know the basic stuff.
And I'm better than
what are the basics?
The basics are being able to change a tire, knowing how to cook for yourself, knowing how to hang curtains, Jay Ward. Knowing how to hang pictures. I would say knowing the basics about your car, because even though you can pay somebody to do it, you still need to know what the fuck they're doing. Simply because, shade tree mechanics it's a term that's real.
Save money.
And of course save money because you can change out, like for example, you should know how to change out a headlight if you have an old-fashioned car. Like you can't do that on these new cars because you gotta detach the grill and all that. Mm-hmm. But if you can pop out a headlight yourself, then you're gonna save a couple of $100.
Yeah,
that's just certain stuff you should know how to do, and I really consider that more so a life skill. So I feel like most men do lack life skills. Like there's some teenagers out here that don't know how to change a fucking tire. But it's like it's not their fault because they never had nobody to teach them. So I understand that. But I do feel like there are certain things you should know as a man. Like you ain't gotta be Bob the Builder, so I want to get that out there. But you do need to know basic life skills. I would say that.
Let me go to the comments before I go to T and Crow. Devin said he paying $200 for insurance and roadside assistance. He ain't changed no tire, but that don't mean he can't.
All right.
I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, you know how to change the tire, bro.
Now he said he know how, but if he paying that much money for that service, then he gonna use that service. I don't blame him.
Man, that's a whole tire though.
Fifi said, I think most men aren't being taught that anymore. It's not being made a requirement in some households. I grew up where we all cut the grass, cooked fish, hunted, etc. Yeah, my mama made sure I washed and cooked and fished and all. I still fish to this day. Miss Hawkins is also rearing. It's also about rearing as well. Country folks are survivors. Resources are not easy. We know how to live. I can feel that.
Y'all niggas lying about cooking though. I ain't never seen y'all post shit.
Pat said,
I ain't cooking nothing, fool.
you can't be a butch and not be able to change the top. What?
A butch.
Rob. Dishes, check your oil, fluids, fix stuff around the house. Simple stuff. I'm bringing Rob on as well in a second. Kim said the world view of what a man is still on the back end of the day mind frame. Everything he said that he mentioned is something a person should know how to do in general. And YouTube can teach all that. That's definitely true. So, Crow, I'm gonna ask you, why do you think these things aren't being taught now, like how to cut grass and how to change a tire, and why aren't we passing those down?
For one, we can always go back to the black males, black fathers not being in the home. Can you hear me?
Barely.
Can you hear me, Swift? Barely.
Kind of.
Man, pick that motherfucker up and talking to it.
He drive.
Is there barely?
Oh, he drive.
Go ahead.
All right. So basically, we know about the black fathers, black male not being in the home due to incarceration, due to hood housing, things of that nature, not allowing the fathers to be in. So, with that being said, we have a lot of moms out there, black queens out there, who are trying, and they, from what they do know, they try to teach their sons, and then at the same time, those sons have to have the drive and will to want to learn. When our grandfathers, our fathers, even when our mothers called us to come into the kitchen or to come outside and cut the grass or whatever it may be, that was a skill that we had to learn. It wasn't so much as you want to learn how to cut the grass. It was, no, you're about to learn how to cut the grass. You're about to learn how to change this tire. You're about to learn how to cook. It was told to you. It wasn't so much an option. Do you want to know how to do this? No, it was a life skill that your mother, your grandmother, your father, the individuals within the neighborhood understood that you needed to know. And now we're so closed off as a community and so worried about somebody else teaching our kids or teaching our young men something that we're going to step on toes, that somebody going to say something to somebody about teaching their child this. It's fine, Yeah, it's some special moments that people want to have with their children, but the basic necessities for a black male to, be able to maintain a household, as Corey said, from changing those tires to going out there and cutting the grass. Yeah, you might have the funds, but let's just say you don't have the funds. You need to get behind that push lawnmower and push that mud. Those are the things you need to know how to do. You have simple toilet leaks in the house. You need to be able to change that. You need to be able to seal those type of things. Caulk. You need to be able to caulk. You need to be able to paint. Simple things like that will help you as a man go a long way and keep cash in your pocket, for one. Two, it will make things easier around the home because your wife will know she can come to you, or your woman or your spouse, whoever it is to you, will know she'll be able to come to you versus somebody else. And three, you'll be able to bond with your kids over an experience like that. And that's big, believe it or not. Me and my son put his basketball goal up together. And when I tell you he was right there every step, Dad, let me put the sand in. Dad, let me do this. And that was big for him. So just, those lessons that they sometimes don't want to learn, I promise you it'll go a long way with them, because I remember close to every moment I was in the kitchen with my grandma, my mom, every outside with my dad doing work, uncles with my work. My uncle worked on cars. That's how I learned and listen to cars, even though I don't like sticking my hands in there because I'm somewhat of a little pretty boy. You know what I'm saying? But,
Pretty boy.
I know. Yeah, I'm a little hood pretty boy nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't like to get my hands oily, but, I stick my hand in and get my hands oily. But, yeah, that's all it is. We need to go back to that community way of raising kids and not being afraid to help out and help each other.
Got you. T, go ahead. Crow, you start driving till we bring Rob in. Go ahead, T.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just piggybacking on what everybody said. The problem is people want to say, if you know how to do this stuff, if you a man does this and a man does that, then they like society try to make you think that it's toxic. You know what I'm saying? Like just because you a man that you're toxic. Like, nah, we just teaching these boys how to be men. You know what I'm saying? And then they try to turn the whole conversation around like, no, well, I mean, they should know how to cook, and they should just let them play with dolls and all that. No, hold up, what? Like, no, men are not being men. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. We not raising these kids, we not raising these boys to be men a lot of the time, because I ain't gonna say most, some men are lacking, some men not doing what they supposed to do, leaving the mother to try to raise a son, which is hard to do. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom, she put a screwdriver in my hand and I just had to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, I think all men should know how to do the necessities, change a light bulb, change a tire, stuff like that. Quick story. So my old lady son, he come out here from school, caught a flat on the highway. Okay. He gets here to Atlanta. I'm like, all right, bet. Let's change the tire. I pop the trunk. It's no tire in the damn trunk. I said, bro, what a tire? He said, I left it on the side of the road flat. I said, bro, you threw the whole tire away, man? He's like, yeah. I said, all right, bet. You know what?
He threw the rim away too?
He threw the rim, the tire, whole thing, bro. Hey, look, I took his ass straight to the junkyard, put the 4-way in his hand, and made him get another tire off a car, get the tire, put it in the wheelbarrow, bring it back, and put it on his car himself. You know what I'm saying? Just to teach him. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is what you need to know, this type of stuff, bro. And we've been rocking ever since, dog. You know what I'm saying? Fixing lights, fixing little stuff like that. Like, that's stuff that people should show you and you should know, man. I think even if you don't have kids, you need to mentor. Like, a lot of the bros are mentors. I will say that. A lot of bros, teachers and coaches and stuff like that. So we do a good job of that. But I just think that it's a village, man. We all have to play our part in showing these men that it's okay to be men, and I want to encourage all y'all that don't do DIY projects to get you a Pinterest and learn that stuff just like I did, bro. YouTube and Pinterest, man.
So I'm gonna go to the comments real quick, and then I'm gonna let Rob close it out. Pat, you teach them those things because one day it will be them owning their house, business, or car, so you got to teach them how to take care of it. Portia, a handyman is a sexy man. It shows he's resourceful, creative, and tenacious. These qualities often translate into other aspects of life. So if he can put it down on the car, he can Fifi. Yeah, we are now in an overly emotional pussy society. Grandma, if you watch, I'm sorry for cussing. We can easily offend people, raising up a generation of emotionally soft kids. And Tabitha, I was taught to do household tasks and outdoor tasks. I can change oil, change the tire, replace brakes, cut grass, and do other repairs to house and car, but I prefer to have a man do those certain things. Go ahead, Rob.
What's going on? It's your boy Rob. I'm drinking on some Italia Roscato, some red wine mixed with Moscato. Come to you from Tampa by way of Bolton, Mississippi. And a lot of people are around our age, between the ages of like 30 to 42, 43. We always say we're losing our recipes because all the older generations are dying off. And a lot of the stuff they passed on to us, a lot of us aren't passing it on to the next generation. So to answer the question, no, if you don't know how to do manly things, it doesn't make you less of a man. I really don't like that term because everybody's view of what a man is varies depending on who you talk to, especially when you talk to women. But when I was like 7 or 8 years old, we had a house that was up above the ground. There was air that could blow up under the house. It was a terribly built Jim Walter home. And so we used to have pipes that would burst every single winter. And so my dad and I would have to go under the house, cut pipes, caulk pipes, put them back together every single winter. And it was nothing that he taught me. I had to learn how to do it. The only thing I was really taught how to do was to cut wood. I had to figure out how to cut grass efficiently. I had to figure out how to fix toilets and do all this other stuff. YouTube is a gym. If you don't know how to do something, you can literally go on YouTube, and if you have 15 brain cells, you can figure it out. So there's really not an excuse for you not to know how to do stuff. But at the same time, because we are better off than our parents were, we tend to finance a lot of things, and so we don't have a need to learn how to do it. And I think we kind of need to get back to that. When this whole Rona thing started, I told Fee that we was gonna go build a garden and start a garden out behind our house, and so that's what we did. And we've been growing a lot of our own vegetables and stuff since this whole thing started. But I think we just need to get back to some of the things that our grandparents and parents did, just so we can hone those skills, because our kids need to know that stuff. And if we don't teach them, it's gonna be lost on the whole generation.
Hey, Swift, can I add one thing real quick?
Real quick.
I'm gonna just say this. I agree with everybody's saying, but I also just want to leave you with this. I think it was Einstein that said, if you judge a fish about his ability to climb a tree, then you'll think he's a terrible fish. Everybody has their own skills. Like, I can't do what Corey does. I'm not good with numbers, but I also can write anything when it comes to words. So I don't think you should demean somebody just because they can't do a quote unquote gender role that's something that's really associated with them. So I wouldn't shame someone just because they can't do. And you know, that's something that I had to tell my dad. I'm like, I've never had a need to do this. So don't shun me over something that you never taught me. Where were you? So you know, I had to get back at him with that. So I'm like, you weren't there to teach me that. So don't hold me accountable for something that I've never had to learn. So I do think that, you know, like everybody's saying, that we should learn those basic skills, but I also wouldn't judge somebody based off of, oh, you don't do the gender appropriate things that you should know how to do. You know, but as long as you have some sort of skill set and you can provide a living for yourself and maintain your home, I think you're fine.
Okay. No problem, no problem. So we're gonna go on to the next topic. I don't want to spend too much time on this one because this one could get ugly. But we kind of touched on it in one of the episodes when Megan and Cardi B dropped WAP, and we got more to detail in the chat. And that is, does hip hop have a responsibility to portray a certain image of the black culture? And one of you put in the chat about how music now talks about how we are hoes and how we glamorize being a thug, being a dog, pretty much these demeaning characteristics. But it's seen as a good thing because it's coming from these hip hop artists, and we trying to portray those characteristics here in real life. So, and they said that in the chat, we're the only people that does this. We're the only people that praise being demeaning. So I'm gonna ask y'all this question: do we, as a black people, do we have a responsibility as far as hip hop artists to portray a better image to the culture? Or do you think? Let me finish, Corey.
My fault.
Or do you think that people should just, you know, be able to just learn, just listening for entertainment and living a life outside of music and hip hop and rap? So go ahead, CJB. I already know your answer.
I don't think that hip hop has a responsibility. For one, black people are not the only ones that have off the wall lyrics. Like, hard metal and rock is some nasty ass lyrics if you pay attention, especially back in the 80s. The Metallicas, the Poison, they wasn't singing no lullabies if you listen to what they were saying. Mm-hmm. Like, I get that, you know, people want, you know, black artists to be able to be socially conscious and socially aware, but everybody just doesn't have the range, man, to rap about stuff like that. Like, you probably can point out probably within the last 10 to 15 years, maybe 10 artists that were socially conscious and they actually broke into the mainstream. I feel like rapping about drugs and gangs, like, I think hip hop turned the page in the early 90s with NWA because it was just party music before then. But NWA was really rapping about, you know, their environment. Everybody, even though Ice Cube wasn't really with it like Eazy-E was, he was still out there, you know, seeing where the police was going and all the gang shootings and all that. But I feel like, you know, we have to take that as an art. Like, I do believe that there's some responsibility, but I'm just not to the point where I'm willing to place their responsibility on the rap artist because even though that music always been out there, it's like people got to choose to listen to it. You know, I had to sneak and listen to Uncle Luke back in the 90s and get a Tupac CD that allowed, I had to sneak and listen to that. My mom didn't play that shit. But it's like some folks just let their kids listen to it. Like it'll be tough for me to have a teenager now because I know back in the day, you come in the house singing wet ass pussy, you got the shit slapped out of you. So I don't know how daddy bro is handling that right now, but I just can't put the pressure on hip hop. Like it's an art. The stuff they rap about, man, is like really it happens in some area of the community. Like sex happens in the community, drugs happen in the community, gang violence, pimping, anything you can think of that happens within the black community in some culture in some part of the country. So it just I understand people wanting them to be responsible and put lyrics of encouragement out there, but I just feel like most of these rappers do not have the range. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you was a terrible student in school, you're not going to know about the certain struggles of the civil rights movement and you know the certain things that impacted black people and prevented us from building wealth. You're not going to know about that. I hate to say it, and then to put that in the lyrics where it actually rhymes and you can make a dope song, that takes talent. A lot of people can't do that.
Got you. So I'm gonna go to T next. I feel like T definitely gonna have a good opinion on this. T, what you think?
Nah, I mean, you gotta think about it. Who controls the music industry?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so at the end of the day, it ain't even about the responsibility of the artists or the rappers because they don't control what comes out anyway. They are the artists, but the push is gonna always be to the the gangsters and you know the Cardi B, WAPs and stuff like that because in the 70s and the 60s we were leaning towards fight the power, black is beautiful, freedom songs, stuff like that. And they saw the way the country was moving. So that's when
Who is they? What do you mean? Who is they?
they
The other side.
So what you're saying is that music influenced black people to be more socially conscious and push for policies that help black people out.
Yes, just like TV, just like you know, the shows had people with HBCU shirts on and people were proud. And this thing, you know, what comes through reality TV and gangster rap and NWA, and they pushed that. And so when it was going down and all the politicians was going against Snoop Dogg and all them boys, at the end of the day, they were actually right. And I was young and I didn't get it at the time, but now that I'm a little older, I get it. Like music influences. You couldn't tell me when I was in high school that I wasn't a member of the Hot Boys. You know what I'm saying? I had my white tee, I had my chains, I was stunning, I was riding fly, you know what I'm saying? Because I felt like I was a member of the Hot Boys, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of progressed. So people say, oh, well, your parents should raise their kids, musicians shouldn't raise your kid. A kid is not looking at their parents as cool. They're looking at the rappers as cool. They looking at the car, they looking at the jury, they looking at the basketball player, they looking at all that.
So with that being said, because you know, back in our day here in the South, we wore the tall tees and the bows because we were listening to Boosie and Webby, and so you're right. Music does influence, but you're still saying hip hop artists do not have a responsibility to tailor their. I see you don't go to Rob first.
I'm saying they don't really have a responsibility because they are reporting what happens in their environment.
Okay. What
you think? You have to change the environment to change the music, but again, it won't never change because they don't control what comes out anyway. because it's a part of the agenda.
Social construct. I got
And one more thing, we ain't gonna say put his all on hip hop. Think about blues with Marvin Cease and Bobby
Bro,
Rush.
y'all said
Bobby
hip-hop.
Rush.
I'm focusing on hip hop because I know about Candy Look and
Not just
Wake
Candy.
Up. I
Candy
know
Lick is
about all
just
of
the
them.
tip. Like we can go deeper than
We
Candy
could.
Lick.
We
I mean, so it's like we can't just put it all on hip hop. Blues is nasty, bro.
Blues is
They-
filthy, but y'all in the group
filthy.
that hip hop, so we sticking with hip hop because that's the most influential right now. Rob,
True.
No, I think I agree with T and Corey. There's a video that I saw on YouTube where this white guy, he kind of broke down kind of what the same thing that T just broke down as far as the progression of the music that becomes mainstream and the type of music that people put out that the record labels push. And he made an example of Rick Ross when Rick Ross put out the song about putting a Molly in someone's drink or something like that, and how all of the big companies start dropping him for endorsement deals and stuff like that. But when he made music or songs, or when artists make songs about killing other black people, those are songs that they push. So yeah, I don't think hip hop artists have a responsibility. I do believe that there is an agenda to push more detrimental music to mainstream, but we still have responsibility of what we listen to and what we allow our kids to listen to. Because these same genres of music have been out and around forever. It's just all about what you choose to pay attention to, what you choose to listen to. And what they put out is what they put out because it all comes from a personal basis. And so, no, they don't have a responsibility. I think we have a responsibility to pick and choose what we listen to and what our kids listen to. Because I have 3 teenage boys, and I know what they listen to, and I'm paying close attention to that type of stuff and what they watch. So I think it falls back on the parents a lot for that.
okay. Let me go to the comments. I'm gonna go to
You
you.
can't let them be lame though, Rob. They need,
Hey,
they
I'm-
need to have,
hey,
you have a
I
good
ain't-
balance, man. They
I
need to
ain't
have good
lame, so hey, I'm raising them, so they can't be lame. It's
I
impossible.
see you, bro. But definitely said people need something to blame to take the focus off what's really the problem in hip hop. Is it Kim? It's lots of rappers who rap about quality stuff. J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. I don't know though. Toby dope too. Toby real dope. I hope he break out. Crit another dope person too. Hey Swift and everybody else. Hey Sierra. I don't know who that is though. They ain't getting paid to be nobody's parents, raised or cheering. That's right, Miss Hawkins. Fifi, it has become easier to blame artists for influence and over sexualized or violent lyrics than it is to just hold people accountable for their own dumb judgments. That's true too. Deja, it does play a small part, however, you cannot place great responsibility onto the music artist. Ebony, what's up, Ebony? Okay, DST. I had very explicit CD and tape as a kid, and I always had a clear understanding that this is entertainment. Raise your kids and make sure that they have role models. But do these kids know nowadays that it's just entertainment? Because they swear up and down that NBA YoungBoy really out in these streets and they try to mimic him with the drink.
They
Like,
know it's entertainment. They can
NBA
play
young
Call
man,
of Duty.
out there though.
They can
Go
play
ahead,
Call of Duty and Fortnite and separate that from real life. So they should be able to separate music from real life. Them kids know, bro. Like they
Corey,
just like
y'all, Corey. Go ahead, E.
my bad.
I honestly think that it's not a responsibility to the rapper, bro. It's not. It's the fact that parents have to face the cold-hearted facts that you just a trash ass parent, my nigga. Like you really just gotta face that shit, bro. You suck at parenting. That's what it is. If you can't control your child or whatever you got them going on, bro, you just need to change your structure. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to lead them down that path, because think about it. When my back came out, everybody was singing that shit. I was in the goddamn 5th grade when that shit came out. And that's all them chicks singing. My neck, my back, you know what I'm saying? I was in 5th grade. Didn't know what the fuck the song meant, but then I knew that bitch was jamming though. You know what I'm saying? Do I think rap music has an influence? It depends. You know what I'm saying? I think it depends because if you're a suburban kid, you're not going to understand what goes on to other people that are impoverished areas. You're not going to think like that to be like, oh yeah, this is relatable to whereas, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I'm gonna go get a Glock now. You know what I'm saying? Like bro, chill out. No. You're going to be more so of the I'm gonna listen to oh yeah, this Taylor Swift is rocking. You gonna be one of them type motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be listening to trap music like that. But even if you do, like it's your job as a parent to be like involved in your kid's life. Hey, what you doing today? How was school today? What you get into, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're not checking on your kids, you can't even like give them a proper assessment of what they are getting into and how they're progressing, what influences they have. But nowadays, people don't be talking to their kids. All they do is have them doped up on Vyvanse, Ritalin, Adderall, and shit like that because they ain't got the patience for it. I know this, bro. I worked in the pharmacy for 3 years. That's what they do, bro. They give everybody them fucking pills. They give all them kids them pills because it's babies having babies.
Gotcha. Yeah, Crowley. Yeah,
bro. Like just keeping it real, man. That's really what it is. You have immature parents having kids. Parents still trying to live their best life, you know what I'm saying? No shout out, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's entitled to life, freedom, and you know what I'm saying, pursuit of happiness. But at the same time, your priorities fucked up.
You also gotta remember that these kids now are the product of the crack era. So
what?
These
back
kids,
in the 80s.
Yeah, their parents were product of the crack era.
What I'm saying is, bro, at some point in time, like, you know what I'm saying? I understand we go through a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? We deal with a lot of shit, but sometimes, bro, we gotta start using that crutch. Because we know right from wrong, but what do?
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go like, oh, fuck that shit. Yeah, you can't keep using it as a crutch, bro. You gotta take some goddamn responsibility and shit, all that old good shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Jay Ward, what you think?
I'm gonna come from a way that most people wouldn't really expect me to come on this. I feel like hip hop artists do not have a responsibility to make conscious music. That's not what they're there for. They're entertainers. And I used to wrestle back and forth with this. So if you would have asked me this question 10 years ago, I wouldn't have had the same thought process. But let me say this. You don't have a responsibility in your music to make conscious music because music is entertainment. But what you do have a responsibility to do is outside of your music, what you do for neighborhoods and what you do for the community. For example, T.I. can rap about as much dope and all that type of stuff as he wants to, but he also telling you to vote. He also telling you, all these other things about uplifting the community and things like that. So even David Banner, yeah, he said real girls get down on the floor, but look at where he is now. So I think that you can be an entertainer and do both. You can have your persona, your hip hop persona or whatever, and you still can do positive things in the neighborhoods, and especially the neighborhood where you come from. It's the same thing. One of my favorite songs is by Eminem. It's called Stand. And, one of the things that Eminem says in the song is like, you like to cut your wrist too. I say that shit just clowning, dog. Come on, how fucked up is you? He's telling these folks in this song, like, look, I said that just to clown around. I'm just playing. I'm not really saying that. One thing that and y'all already hit on, hip hop artists and celebrities ain't to raise your kids. I do agree with T. A lot of kids don't have parents, so they just kind of gotta get it however they live. The streets gonna teach them, or somebody down the street gonna teach them. Somebody gonna teach them something. But one thing that I used to do, I used to hide my love for hip hop, not rap music, but just true hip hop. But I grew up listening to screwed music. I grew up listening to Cash Money and No Limit. I grew up listening to the Notorious Big and Tupac. And so I actually thought that it made me look less intelligent because I loved hip hop music. In which I do. R&B is still my favorite genre of music, and I like rock and all that. But I used to always try to hide the fact that I knew all these rap songs because I thought that made me look less intelligent, or, oh, you couldn't have gone to college and still like all the same type of music. But then I realized, I'm like, I don't really care about what you think about me because that has nothing to do. I've listened to so much music about selling dope, and I've never sold one piece of dope. I've never done any violence or anything like that, even though I listened to that music. So I was not influenced by that. And I think you should be able to, even with movies and stuff like that. Every role on TV doesn't have to be positive. And Corey was hitting on this earlier, and Swift mentioned it too. In other cultures and other races, the fate of the race does not depend on entertainment. Like, we got to get out of that. And I know it's hard because a lot of politicians and stuff view us based off of our entertainment, and that's not fair.
That's right.
And that's not fair. But I mean, you still can't say, well, I'm not watching this because it's negative. Like, I'm not watching P Valley because it's negative. Why? I mean, it's a lot of two broke girls is a negative show. It's a whole lot of negative white people. So it's just like, man, we can't put the whole fate of our race based off of, you know, what you see on TV and all that type of stuff, even though we are judged by that. So, you know, you can talk about as much, like Rick Ross talks about so much dope and all that, but Rick Ross is an entrepreneur. We know mostly everything that Rick Ross talks about is a persona that's made up. So you got to know how to get past that. Another thing that I want to hit on is that like T said, man, a lot of rappers rapped about their surroundings, the things that they saw. They saw people being killed. They saw dope being sold. So that's what they rapped about. But they elevated and move on. They elevated and moved on. And like Jay-Z, I hate to bring him up, but he changed his whole persona. He was tall tees, hats, and all that type of stuff. Now he's suited up and he in boardroom. So you have to be able to evolve. A lot of these younger rappers.
Hold on, Jay, because we getting late. And I gotta let Crow go, and I see the people in the comments. They're waiting for the next topic.
Oh yeah, I was definitely.
Hold on, Crow. Jay, you want to get your last point out?
Yeah, I'm gonna get this one in, man. A lot of these young cats, they're fetishizing growing up in the hood and dope selling. Like, they and the white listeners that listen to that stuff, they glorify this and they have this image of it in their hood, and it's not reality. So if I know that, then as an artist, I wouldn't feed into that, to this whole pill popping culture and all that type of stuff, because I know that a lot of people are feeding into this and thinking that it's reality when it's not actuality. But I can go all day on that, but I'll leave it there.
Okay. Hey, that nigga Future jamming though, and he don't even do drugs.
Hey,
go ahead.
That's
Crow.
the wild part about it.
But that nigga jamming though.
Go ahead, Crow.
Man, y'all done touched on everything. To truly be honest, at the end of the day, responsibility is on the parents if they are letting their young kids listen to it. I know I used to listen to the Loonies. I got 5 on it. I had the doggy style cassette tape. And my dad, you know, kind of went over the lyrics, all that with me. You know what I'm saying? He was asking me, why was I singing I Got 5 for? You know what I'm saying? I'm in middle school. So I broke down like, yeah, I know what it is, but you know what I'm saying? I leave that be. But to keep pushing forward, everybody touched on everything. Let's move on to the next topic. Keep it rolling.
One sentence, Swift.
Go ahead.
Nothing wrong with the rappers talking about selling dope and doing all that stuff, as long as they tell the other side of the coin. Going to jail, losing your friends, sending a commissary, you know, going to visit, lockdown, pat down, stuff like that. So if you want to rap about the streets, tell the good side and tell the bad side.
But you know, them niggas, they don't go visit that niggas, bro.
That goes to them listening to your Scarfaces, and you know, they not gonna, Future not gonna rap about that. But
and
it takes a
problem.
Scarface to, that's what I'm saying. But it's a Scarface who will rap about that. You know, it's your 8-ball MJGs who rap about that. You know, so that's where they go to. They just have to take
T.I.
Yeah, but they, even Bun B and Pimp C, but that means they have to take themselves deeper outside of what they're listening to. And if they only want to listen to the pill popping music, the syrup sipping music, there's nothing wrong with that. The throw your sets up music, that is fine and dandy. But like you said, it's all on the listener to broaden their perspective and want to learn a little bit more, just like reading a book.
Got you. So I'm gonna go to this last topic, and I feel like this gonna be a heated one. Comments gonna be conflict, and it's gonna be ugly, but we're gonna bring it up. So I forget who dropped it in the chat, and I ain't gonna put. I remember who, but I ain't gonna put their name out there because I don't want nobody getting in no trouble. But last topic: women conforming to everything but their man. Let's talk about what we mean by this. So, in certain environments, of course, it's being told or being said that women have to dress a certain way. They have to put away certain mannerisms, whether it be their job or in school or around certain individuals. They have to look a certain way. They conform to their environment, clothes, mannerisms, attitude, pretty much everything. Where be quiet, Mimi. I'm just saying what the post said and what people are saying on social media. and what I'm gonna see if my brothers agree, but biting their tongue and not doing or saying things to be portrayed a certain way. So not wearing your natural hair in certain environments, wearing wigs in certain environments. I think I saw one person who works in media broadcasting that has never worn her real hair. She always wear a wig and presents herself a certain way. So, but they don't conform to their men. So, brothers, I want y'all to get this out. I don't even know who to start with, and I'm definitely gonna have to bring Rob in on this one. Have you seen it to where women will conform to their jobs, school, to classes, be in certain environments, but will not do anything to conform to a man? If somebody asks them, well, why won't you dress a certain way for your man? I ain't doing it for a man. Have y'all seen each? Should I start with you?
Jay Ward.
No, I'm not gonna start with Jay Ward. I'm gonna start with
you like this, bro.
I'm gonna start with you.
I ain't never seen a black woman conform to her job in my life. By conform, I mean, I'm saying like black women gonna go on their job, they gonna tell their manager what the fuck they ain't gonna do. So how's that conforming? You know what I'm saying? I ain't work with nobody that not a black woman, you know what I'm saying? Not that they don't do their job, but like they ain't having that shit, bro. I wish I had that privilege, you know what I'm saying, to go up and tell my boss what the fuck I ain't gonna do. But like most of them do that. As far as conforming to your man or whatever, I don't give a fuck about that shit, bro. That shit don't bother me. If y'all really compatible or whatever, then it's like no real conformity. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm totally against this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like being told what to do, so I don't tell nobody else what to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what I want to do at all time. Everybody else, go on about your motherfucking business. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with that old, yeah, you gotta wear this when I come home, or you gotta have this meal cooked when I come, yada 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 yada.
Well, so let's talk about what conforming for your man means. Because
give me a better explanation.
Yeah, so the post says like choosing your battles, biting your tongue, staying in shape or dressing a certain way, looking a certain way for your man because this is what he wants you to do.
Again, like I said, bro, I do what the fuck I want to do. I'm not expecting. I don't bite my tongue for shit.
Oh, I see some faces on here.
So I feel like I have to keep that same energy. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not, if I don't bite my tongue, then I can't get mad if she be like, nigga, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? I can't get mad because that's generally how I talk. You know what I'm saying? It's not to be disrespectful or nothing like that. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? It's like you have to check your emotions at the door because the same energy you get out, you got to be able to take that shit. You know what I'm saying? Or else you really like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. So like you can't come in bringing, you know what I'm saying, I'm that nigga energy. Then when you get challenged, you on the same tip. You want to fold, you know what I'm saying? Because your woman might be that, she might be that chick, you know what I'm saying? She like, hey, that nigga finna be talking to me like that, you got me fucked up. So you got respect to check it, you feel me? And once you know what I'm saying, y'all kind of come to some common ground and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? That's how y'all kind of coexist, you feel me?
I'm gonna go with T next.
These niggas is bitches.
Shut up, E. E, go ahead. I mean, T, go ahead. Want me to play the video?
Yeah, play the video. Why I gotta go?
Cause
what my live
okay, so I'm gonna play the T want me to play the video. I'm gonna play the video. I don't know how y'all gonna feel about it. I ain't gonna play the whole video if it's long.
Nah, I just like 50 seconds.
But it has been us as black women who have never been examined. We have been kept from any kind of criticism. We think a good, successful relationship is one where everything goes our way. The first time it stops going our way, then we got a serious problem. We want our man to do everything we tell him to do, but we don't want to do anything he tells us to do. A pattern is something that people follow because they think it's the right way to go. We have been doing it and approving that behavior between each other because we think, well, this is just how you do it. We have not represented our own ideas. We have not had anyone to represent our own ideas to us. The only place.
That's what I'll be talking. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Them bitch ass niggas They be scared to lose a woman that's fine or some shit like that. Be scared to put their foot down and what they gonna tolerate, what they ain't gonna tolerate. You feel me? You make a choice. At the end of the day, that's a choice, bro.
Go ahead, CJ.
That's a choice.
Listen, man, I've said this on several occasions. I feel like if you are a man and you are worthy, your woman will compromise with you. I'm not going to conform means comply with rules, so I'm not going to use that word because it'll make us men seem like dictators. But I will say this: if you are worthy and you carry yourself and a different pattern, and you let your woman know that you got her, then you shouldn't have a problem with your woman basically compromising with you from time to time. Now, I do feel like there are headstrong people out there on both genders. So, and as a man, if you with somebody that feel like everything has to go their way, then you gotta get the fuck out of their relationship. Me personally, I know I've been with somebody like that, and Corey Brown got the fuck on down. They're just period. So it's like if you're with somebody and she pretty much like I agree with E. Like I said, I agree with E. Going back to I never saw a black woman say conform for her job. But I feel like black women will dip out and find a new job before men would. In most cases, that's how I feel about that. So I disagree with that. Mm-hmm. But I feel like if you are worthy, you shouldn't have a problem. Like the problem is that you have some men, the men who say it's my way or no way, them usually niggas that are bitches, like he said. Those the men that don't do shit, don't help out around the house, let the woman clean up everything, raise the kids herself, and all you do is come home and watch TV. Those men are different. Those are the type of men that want that. If you have a true partnership with your lady, you shouldn't have a problem getting your lady to compromise. Now, it's going to be times where you're going to have to give and you're not going to be able to get your way. And there's going to be times where she's not going to get her way. That's a part of being in a relationship that's happy and lasting because you're not going to get your way all the time. Like, that's life. But the fact to say that women do everything but conform to their men, I disagree with that.
Okay. Like I'm gonna go to Crow next because Crow dropping his phone. I don't want him to wreck while he driving. Crow, what you think?
No, when it comes, they touched on it. It's definitely a compromise. Conforming goes both ways. When you go on the job and they request you to do some things, if you really want that job, you're going to make your necessary adjustments, just like with your spouse. Hopefully, you have respect enough, and that's what it comes down to: respect, the love, the care. If you have that respect for that individual, you're going to basically kind of, I don't want to say do as you're asked or do as you're told, but when they ask of you to do something, just like you would ask of them to do something, hopefully you would not have that headache or not be too tired. And I'm not just talking about sex. I'm just talking about even if they're trying to hold a general conversation, everybody get off work. Everybody is tired. Yes, everybody need that hour or two to, break away. But at the same time, if that your spouse is asking you to, hey, babe, I want to talk. Hey, babe, I want to go to the movies. Something of that nature. You can definitely make those that bend to make that happen. Now, when it comes to, I would say some men have some crazy requests, as E said, wanting their women to do every damn thing, and they're not doing not a goddamn thing. That's a big problem, and that comes down to communication. From the very beginning, you need to be able to communicate what you're looking for, exactly what you're looking for. Like Corey said, he had to get on down from one. You know what I'm saying? That's because he understood who he was and what he was looking for. Vice versa, you have to know what you're looking for in a person, and what you will and what you won't take, and what you will conform to and what you won't conform to. Yeah. And then you got to humble yourself, especially if you're talking about, everybody got all these hashtag
gold relationships and all this BS that's going on. But if you're not willing to compromise and being for a person and have that respect for that individual, your ass gonna be hashtag lonely for the rest of your life.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna go to Rob Lad because I don't want him to get put out the house.
Yeah, they lying, man. Y'all lying.
Last Ivan went.
Lying.
I said Jay Ward, go ahead.
Oh, my bad, Jay. Wow.
Nah, let's
T.
hear what T and Rob got to say.
Nah,
Since we lying.
I don't want Rob to get put out the house because Fifi like she about to go ham and comment.
Jay Ward writing in his notebook, so let him go last.
All right.
I ain't really got too much to say about it. All I'm saying is y'all lying.
Nah, bro. Don't do
T
that.
try not to get put out.
Come to the square. Come to the square.
Listen.
Come to the square. Don't do that.
No, what I'm saying is black people always talk about how they have to code switch. But now y'all saying y'all don't know no black woman that have been be at the job and don't take no, you know what I'm saying? So which one is it? Seems like y'all lying.
Code switching is different, bro. That is not the same.
Man.
That is not the same, bro. That is code switching. Now, I can't talk to y'all.
Hold on. I got
that is not the same.
Hold on.
Code switching is conforming to your environment. Meaning, when you on the phone, you can't cuss when you're talking to customers and clients and stuff like that. But okay, when you get home, you could just say whatever you want to say to your man. Your man don't supposed to have nothing to say back. He shouldn't have to ask you, like stuff like that. Like y'all acting like a relationship should be about compromise and conforming. A man has to conform to a woman, has to do what a woman wants, and a woman has to do what a man wants, because that's what a relationship is, a give and a take. That's
compromise.
That's what relationships are. So I don't see why y'all trying to act like conform is a bad word, bro.
See, code switching is.
Nah, see,
JB. You know what? I'm gonna be muted tonight. I'm good. My bad. I don't mean to cut you out. My bad. My bad.
Like, okay, so when it's a lot of people, a lot of women are alpha females, and that's why they deal with beta males, because they don't want a man to lead sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they choose how they choose. Now, I'm not saying most, I said some. So let's get that straight. I'm not calling out all women, but some women pick guys that they can run over because they don't want to conform. They don't want to have to
work on themselves.
Accountable, like Corey say. They don't deal with that accountability. They don't like that when people push them to different heights. Go ahead, Rob. Go ahead, baby.
We're talking about different stuff.
Go ahead, Jay Ward.
We're talking about different stuff.
T, so you saying women sometimes intentionally pick those guys who they feel not on their level, so they don't have to work on themselves, make themselves a better person.
I mean, hey,
I think that's different. That's true, but that's different.
Ooh, go ahead, Rob.
I agree with my LB, man. Y'all are lying, man. I work. Somebody stole. First off,
y'all know I don't lie.
So first off, the main reason for this, I'm going to say it because it seems as though a lot of people, men and women, hold men to a higher standard than they do women, but that's a different topic. If a man does not have a lot of self-esteem within himself, he's going to allow himself to be treated any kind of way in a relationship. And so he's going to allow for his lady to basically boss him around. He has no say. He has to do everything that she says, and he really has no say in anything that he wants. So it's not a give and take. It's just that he's taking, and he's giving, but she's not doing any of the same thing. So I have seen that before. I've seen it a lot, a whole lot. And this isn't a kick to black women, but black women are the most successful women in this country. They are the most successful women. So that's a plus for Black women. Because of that, you have a lot of women who are alpha and who are determined. They're driven. And a lot of men don't match up to that. So you're going to have a lot of women who are bossing around a lot of men because, for one, the man is trying to match up to that woman. And for two, a lot of men don't have enough self-esteem to have any standards to say, this is what I like, just like the woman saying, this is what I like. And so what happens is it becomes an unequal relationship. They call it unequally yoked, is what they say in the church, where you have the woman who's given all these demands and she has all these standards, and the man has no standards. And so he just basically flowing in the wind. Whatever she says goes, whatever she says goes all the time. So he's just blowing in the wind. I do agree with E. I'm not that type of man that's going to be telling Felicia, yeah, you got to dress like this, you got to wear this, you got to do this, you got to do that. There are some things that I do have standards on. And so as a man, you should come into a relationship with some type of standards, things that you're looking for, things that you see, things of how you feel about yourself and how you feel you should be treated. Because I think a lot of focus is put on how the woman's treated, but there's no focus put on how the man is treated, because a lot of men are treated like crap because they just don't know what their standards are. And so, yeah, it's a whole bunch of cap, but that's okay. I agree with you, LB. I'm done.
I think we on different we kind of all across the table. We're not talking about the same thing. Like y'all are talking about, basically a woman not respecting you, blah blah blah, a man in certain situations, and women choosing beta male. I think those are different topics. Like I feel like as a rebuttal to T, I feel like code switching is necessary. Like Black people always have to code switch. That's just the way of the world. I want to see the real deal. I don't want to see the full-time Denise Black. I want to see the nigga Denise Black. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it just I guess to leave.
You being professional, bro.
No, you should. No, you should be able to be yourself with your spouse. But what I'm saying is, when you walk through that door at work and you code switch and you play it even by the book, blah blah blah. Okay, boom. But then if you at the crib and somebody says something to you, why can't you have that type of respect for that man too? You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's okay to cut it off for that. Like pick your battle.
But the man has to set the tone though. That's a beta male, like you saying. You gotta set the tone. If you don't set the tone, that's what's going to happen. Like I ain't no fucking beta male. Shit, I set the fucking tone, just like Denise and set her tone. So it just it's different.
It come down to respecting the chicken, bro. Like for real. If you feel a certain way about yourself, you know what I'm saying, it's going to show. Nobody has to second guess it. But you know what I'm saying? But you can't deny at the same time when it's a woman that feel the same way about herself. You know what I'm saying? Whether regardless of whether, you know what I'm saying, she might be bottom of the barrel, she can be a 2, but she can have an attitude of a 10. It don't matter. That's just like her personality. You know what I'm saying?
So you to validate it.
Right, exactly. Right. So like that's why I said it's about respecting the chicken. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. But at the same time, you can't be, as a man or male, whatever you want to call it these days, you know, they got all these terms. What I'm saying is you can't be worried about losing on a potential trying to validate yourself and how you feel about it yourself. So you can't be going around second guessing, you know what I'm saying? Oh, well, maybe because she feel this type of way, maybe I need to tone it down. If y'all are, I don't want to be biblical, but if y'all are equally yoked or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna come to that same common ground to where y'all can meet and both parties can coexist and still have their personalities to where it doesn't affect each other, you know what I'm saying?
T-code, I mean E-code switching right now. You ain't never sounded that
All right,
because when I talk regular, y'all be acting like I'm talking like radical left.
Jay Ward gonna represent. I know he got a thesis and a dissertation to talk about this one. So
not really. But I do agree and disagree with some of the things that I've heard. I think this whole argument is grounded and rooted in misogynistic views. Because you don't want.
Now.
Don't mute me. Hold on. I think that
now, bro. Cause I love for the women, bro. How's that misogynistic?
I didn't say you. You a hit dog. A hit dog gonna holler. A hit dog is gonna holler. When you say conform, that word means to sacrifice a part of yourself or your beliefs in order to align with somebody else's. I would never want, not a woman, not a friend, not anybody I know to do that. Now, to say that women and men, especially black women and men, make sacrifices in order to benefit their career, that happens. So I do agree with that. But also, black women don't take a lot of stuff on the job, like E was saying. But I do think a certain part of them, they swallow their tongues. They hold back certain emotions that they have because they don't want to be labeled as an angry black woman and all these things. So I just want to say, do you know how terrible it must feel to be stepped on? Like Rob said, black women are the most successful women in the world, but they're also the most overlooked and underpaid. So can you imagine how it feels to be overlooked, underpaid, and stepped on at work, then have to come home to the man that you love and be overlooked and stepped on once you get home? Like, nah, I'm not conform. If I'm a woman, I wouldn't conform on that. It's the same way as a man in a relationship. If I'm getting stepped on, abused, overlooked, taken advantage of, taken for granted at work, when I come home where I should feel like a king, that's something I can't conform on. I'm not going to conform on my piece and how I think you should treat me. I'm just not going to do that because I already have to take it from the man in the world, and that's speaking to a piece written by my good friend Prince Duran. He wrote a piece called Man's World, and it talks about that, going into corporate America, and you have to kind of almost suffer to get ahead, and then I'm supposed to come home to where I should be at peace, and then I have to argue and bicker with you. The other side of this, and I know y'all gonna get mad, but I think another part of this is that you don't want a woman to, it's not about conforming, it's about you want a woman to put up with bullshit, and a woman should not have to do that. When I hear conform, is that, oh babe, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna go chill, I'm gonna go kick it with the boys tonight, you know what I'm saying, but you want her to conform. Like, man, she always complaining because I'm always with my boys. That means you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So a woman, just because a woman won't put up with bullshit, that does not mean that she's not willing to conform. And I think that's something that a lot of people miss. And I think a lot of guys kind of, man, she ain't willing to be submissive because I'm playing Madden for 7 hours and then she want to get mad because I don't want to cuddle. What kind of shit is that? Like that's not being submissive. That's being a pawn in your game. So I think that as a man,
what if it's
shut up, E. I'm talking.
Like
when you have Swift, I need you here to moderate so you can mute E. When you are a person and you want people to follow you, you have to be willing to lead, but you also have to be willing to be led. So if you're not willing to be led, then that means you're a dictator. That means that you're ruling with an iron fist. So if you're not willing to also step outside of your pride and bring some of your things down, then that means you don't want a partner, you want a slave. You want someone to be lesser than you and not to be equal to you. And I'm just not with that. So I really think that, men have to step out of that. And that's why when people throw out the word submissive, I'm like, do you really understand what this means? So I think that you really have to be able to listen to what each other needs. And like T was saying, a relationship is not a give take, it's a give. We both giving, we both taking, but we are both willing to give for the benefit and the betterment of our relationship.
Good points. So I think this is gonna be nope, that's it for tonight. So final thoughts on
the fan ain't on and she want to cook. What you gonna do then?
Final thoughts. Go ahead, T.
That's it.
I mean, men being handy. I think that men need to be men. It's too many weak people out here, and y'all gonna say it's toxic masculinity, whatever it is, what it is. Y'all need to raise these men or mentor these boys and show them manly things and quit letting society give people passes, and tell you that you're wrong for requiring a boy to do boy stuff, play on go-karts and stuff like that, and not, well, no, man, I'm not gonna give any examples because y'all try to cancel me. So it is what it is. I think that men need to be men. As far as hip hop, it don't matter. People gonna do what they gonna do. Our environment shows us everything. They teach us everything. So hip hop is a reflection of the environment. I wish that rappers would show both sides of the coin, but they don't control the media and the masses anyway. It's ran by old other people. And as far as the women conforming, it's cool. Y'all can lie all y'all want to about this topic. You know what I'm saying? It is. I like somebody said, if you are the right man and you're doing what you're supposed to do, a woman will follow you. You know what I'm saying? So it's on the man to be the leader and show his worthiness for a woman to conform. But it is a problem
Shit.
when a woman does not like to have any type of rebuttal given. I'm done.
TJB.
And when she does, you got to get on down. As far as I feel like men should know life skills. It's very important to know how to take care of yourself. Like, even if you don't, like I think Devin said something about roadside assistance. That's cool, but you still should know how to change a tire. You should know how to do little small stuff around the house. You should know how to change out a light bulb in your car if able. It saves you on money. And most of all, men, please learn how to cook. Teach your sons how to cook. They do not need to rely on a woman to feed them. That is some sucker ass stuff. Like it's some niggas can't even ground beef in a pan, dog, without burning that shit. You would be surprised.
Wow.
Brown beef in the pan.
Bro, you will be surprised.
Brown beef in
Fried
the
beef,
pan.
fried beef in a pan. My bad.
Okay. I'm a block Fifi.
And as far as hip hop, I don't think music as a whole has should be held responsible. It's entertainment. I do feel like even if your kids struggle with this, they should know how to separate lyrics from real life. I feel like some kids know that because you know how to separate Call of Duty from real life. So you should know how this is just lyrics. And if you really follow an artist, like Future said, he didn't do drugs, he didn't do lean, but he got a fucking mixtape called Dirty Sprite. So you hear that, and Rick Ross, my boy, that's probably my favorite rapper right now. But I know Rick Ross tells are false as hell, like period. My guy made his persona off of Freeway Ricky Ross, who is a real drug dealer, and so on and so on. But we ain't gonna get into that. And as far as having a woman to conform, like T said, I feel like if you prove yourself worthy, it's not going to be a problem. But you have to prove yourself worthy, and you have to basically understand it's give and take. T, I was gonna let you make it about the rapper because, like I said, I said this several times. There's nobody that lost 200 bricks and lived to tell the story. That's that. That's facts. Let's get it out there. You know what I'm saying? Lose 200 bricks and live to tell the story. There's no way in hell, player. But you brought it up though. I didn't bring it up.
Let's say that for next time, bro.
Go ahead, E.
Who is it?
He working, man.
My bad. I told you I'm still at work, bro.
I'm about to.
Oh, but yeah. Anyway, man, like I was saying, shit. What I said, that's what I stand on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, pretty much it.
All right, Rob.
We are losing our recipes. I will always say that stuff that we were taught, we don't need to lose it. We need to hone it. We need to teach it to the next generation because they will need it. We will need it. We don't need to lose those recipes. When it comes to hip hop has responsibility, no, they do not. I'm pretty firm on that one. It's on the parents to make sure that you parent, period, point blank. Do women conform to everything but their man? I believe that's on the man. As you've heard on this pod, we put a lot of pressure on the man to be the man and to stand on being a man. And I believe we're all confident in saying that it falls to the man. And so if you're a man that's confident in yourself, know what you want, I believe you will get what you deserve. And if you don't, you move on and you go to the next. That's all I got.
Jay Ward.
Feels good for my internet to not go out. I'm gonna say that. It's out on my computer though. On my computer right here is out, so I don't know what's going on. Let me just say that when it comes to what was our first topic?
Handyman stuff.
Oh, handyman, that one. No wonder I forgot. I mean, I used to be a brick apprentice. You know, I used to help my stepdad lay bricks, and it was manual labor that was taxing and things like that. I think everyone has gifts, but I do agree that there are basic things that not just men, but men and women, and you know, however you align yourself, should know. Changing a tire, you know, being able to fend for yourself when it comes to cooking. I think those are universal things that everybody needs to know. And I think it's out of necessity for your need to know them. My brother was always tinkering with vehicles, and he's a mechanic now. Some of the stuff he can do, I can't do. Some of the stuff I can do, he can't do. So, you know, I think that's what that means. As far as hip hop, you know, like I said, I can really, that's a bad pass, LeBron. But I think with the hip hop, I really think that they have a responsibility outside of what they do. Just like a Frank Lucas or a Nicky Barnes, even though they sold hella dope, they still tried to do stuff for their communities, like with turkey drives and things like that. So, your on screen or your own record persona is one thing, but what you do for neighborhoods is a different thing. I got a chance to see Young Thug in a TV show, and he was totally different than all that foolishness. So, you know, be able to separate the two. With the women conforming, I really think it's all about, you know, like Rob said, who you're with. And I just want to commend Rob for being such a great dad and such a great role model for his kids, because he doesn't have to tell his kids, don't be like this rapper. You need to be like this, this, and this. He doesn't have to tell them that because they see it every day. They see, you know, what their dad does. So that makes them want to be more like their dad. They probably will join the military because they see, you know, this is what dad does. You know, a lot of military children are products of other military parents. So usually if you're that strong figure inside of your children's lives, they tend to follow down that road. Like, I'm an Eagles fan. My child is going to be an Eagles fan because that's just how we roll. So in my household. So I just want to, you know, just lead by example with that. And, you know, like I said, we have to realize that women and men, we have to conform so much and we have to compromise so much of ourselves. Like, being a bigger man, I often have to walk light around people and say excuse me a lot, just so people don't become intimidated by me. And you know, usually when school starts, I shave my beard down and all that type of stuff. But this year I said, fuck it, I ain't doing none of that. Like, I'm not gonna turn myself down in order for you to feel more confident in yourself. And I think as a race of people, if we would do more of that, you know, we can grow as a race of people and not, you know, dumb ourselves down or be less of ourselves so other people can feel more secure in themselves. But hopefully LeBron gonna pull this thing through. Let's go, LeBron. Shout out to the Dallas Mavericks.
That's about the best thing you said about LeBron and the Lakers
Boy,
all night.
You can chill for hella teams, boy.
Right?
I cheer for people and a few teams, but I cheer for many people. There you go.
I'm muting Philadelphia Eagles fans. CJB, you muted too just because. So I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and watching us tonight. We will be back next week with Jay Ward gonna hold up the sign like I'm gonna remove him too. We will be back next week. And I really appreciate y'all coming on tonight. But these guys touched on everything. I don't have to say anything. Just hope to see y'all next week. And tune in, and we're going to keep it pushing.
That was a Saints boy, by the way. I'm a secondary Saints fan.
I'm going to tell the people how y'all really try to rush this show so y'all going to watch the Lakers.
Hell yeah. Playoffs, man. Good, bro.
Especially when the Raptors got... Especially when the Raptors got that buzzer beater.
Mute Jay Ward.
We go, man.